Good morning, my darlings. Happy Friday. We have made it through another week. Very excited about that. This is conversation 23 out of 100, a commitment that I made to myself at the beginning of the year to do 100 conversations, mostly just to see where they went. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the kind comments. Thank you for connecting and being here with me and for me. I truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. So, end of the week, I'm already feeling super chill. Ari is not coming over tonight. She's going to go hang out with her daughter for a while. And so I have a day to myself, a rare day to myself, which is interesting. I've actually been thinking about that a little bit lately. There are so many transitions going on in my life right now. And Amy and I are in a beautiful transition phase too, which is also a little bittersweet. But I'm going to talk to you about that closer to the end, because if you are familiar with these videos at all, I tend to get deeper the longer we go, because I know most people don't stick it out past the first 5 minutes. So I try to keep it light at the beginning, and the longer you're here, the deeper I get for you. So with all that being said, wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are feeling blessed and loved and seen and safe. It made me laugh when I was thinking about yesterday, I think it was, after I said that, wherever you are in the world today. It's so funny to me because it came back to me. It was a childhood memory that came back to me, and it's from Disneyland, actually. At the end of Small World, when I was a child, at the end of Small World, there, the little, well, maybe you don't know, but at the end of the ride, there's all these little, the dolls are all saying goodbye, and there's these little signs. And at Disneyland, in Disneyland's version, they were sponsored by Bank of America at the time, and so it used to say, it's like, wherever you go around the world, you're never far from a Bank of America. That's what the 4 signs said. But for some reason, to our silly childhood brains, or maybe it was our teenage brains actually, that became a lifelong little ridiculous moment between my sister and I, where we would just go, wherever you are, it's like, wherever you are, there you are, and there's a Bank of America. It was something like that. And we just used to say that all the time, and it would crack us up because, we're dumb. We are very big dorks. Gosh, Small World at Disneyland though, right? I don't know if you've had the honor and privilege of being on that particular version of the ride. The one in Paris is really good too. But the one in Paris, I think, was good because it was so colorful and new and fresh when I went on it. And, the Disneyland version had been really old for a long time. I think they keep it up better now than they used to. But the Disneyland version in particular, that just the clock, the way that it's like its own thing at the back of the park, where it just takes up its own space and it sits in its own grandeur. I love It's a Small World at Disneyland. It's kind of an event unto itself, and it was absolutely a must see. The one here in Florida, I remember the first time I saw it, my impression was, it's a tin can. It's like going into a tin can, because Fantasyland obviously hadn't been redone then. So even now though, the exterior is so lackluster and uninspiring. And then you go inside and it's still Small World, but I don't know. It just feels smaller than the one at Disneyland. The clock is certainly smaller. I'm glad in Paris they have the same clock that they have at Disneyland. I have a clip of it, of the Disneyland Paris clock, on my other channel. What do I have that called now? Before the Story Tree, something like that. It's linked on the homepage if you're not familiar with it. It's where I kept all of my Disney moments, all of my full rides and shows, and not vlogs. I moved those over here, but all the other stuff, music from Disney Springs, all of that's on my other channel. But yeah, I loved that clock as a kid. I used to collect the little souvenir stand right offside, just right outside, before they built the toy store that and they switched. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but they switched the entrance and exit to Small World so that they could build that toy store. and so that you could exit the ride into the toy store. And I don't know what it is right now, but when they first built it, it was all Mattel. It was all Mattel stuff in there, Barbies and things like that. Beautiful Barbies. But there was a different gift shop just right off of Small World when I was a kid, and they sold these little wooden dolls that were themed to all the different dolls in Small World. And that was my favorite souvenir to get every time we went. And I'm talking like as a kid with my family, I would always, when we got off Small World, that was my souvenir choice. I wanted one of those little dolls. I loved them so much. But boy, speaking of Mattel, did you guys see the new Barbie? There's like a Cinderella Barbie. I don't like it. Maybe I'm just being old, but I don't like it. She's got this big... I don't like it. Cinderella's my favorite, so I do tend to be pickier about Cinderella. But the dress they put... I get it. She's reimagined. Reimagined into what? I'm not sure. But the dress is blue, and it has big pink lettering. Wow, I can't talk today. Big pink lettering on it. It says, I saw, I left early, something like that. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like anything about it. I know. I'm being a party pooper on that, aren't I? Speaking of Disneyland, the conversation got really deep yesterday, so I'm keeping it kind of light today. The thing about Disneyland is I was talking about maybe going back to Disneyland for my 60th birthday. And recently I've been thinking, no, I don't want to do that for my 60th birthday. I want to do that next year, I think. I want to make like a real serious trip out to Disneyland next year and have it be like a homecoming. And I really want to think about it and prepare for it and not have it be like spur of the moment or like, oh, let's just go for the weekend. I want it to be like a really beautiful trip. So we shall see how that comes together. But I was thinking then, so what am I going to do for my 60th birthday? And then I couldn't remember what I did for my 59th birthday. I was like, what did I do? But I went to the Halloween party and we stayed over at the Drury. I did that 2 years in a row. The first year I loved it. The second year I had this apartment and I just wanted to come home. I didn't want to stay in the hotel. I know that that's going to not be a thing forever. So I'm trying to honor it while it is. I love being here. I just love it so much. So I'm just kind of like steeping in it. I know that the honeymoon phase is starting to wind down. I can feel that. It's starting to feel normal to me to live in celebration, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm still grateful. I'm so grateful. But, you know, things are definitely shifting in the sense of, it's like I'm accepting that this is my life. I'm not like overwhelmed by it. I'm not like, oh my God, pinch myself all the time. This is my life. And this is my life. And I am very, very grateful. But, so at some point, the honeymoon phase is winding down. And at some point, I'm going to want to travel again and like go and stay places. But I'm just honoring, like my birthday really showed me that I didn't want to. I just wanted to be here. So I'm trying to do better about honoring my heart, about what I really want to do, even if it seems dumb or it seems unexciting. If that's what my heart really wants to do, I'm letting it, because things are seasons, right? I mean, nothing is forever. Nothing lasts forever. No, like yesterday, I cleaned everything in my house. I really wanted to clean. I was really feeling it, so I went with it. I don't feel that way today. Today I want to play. So once I get this conversation up today, my sister's not coming over tonight, like I said. I'm thinking about diving into my Sims and just giving myself a day of play, because I don't have anything else to do today. I've got all my work done. Like, I'm having this really weird day where it's like I don't have anything I have to do today. And part of me is like, oh, well then you should, it's starting to heat up. It's like, oh, it's so warm today. You could go to the pool. You could jump in a lift and, I don't know, go someplace. I could go to a resort. I could walk the trails. There's so many things I could do, but I feel like what I really just want to do is play. The Sims I was playing with most recently, the last I played with them, they had twins, twin girls, and the girls had just aged up into toddlers. And that Barbie coming out this morning just really made me think about my childhood and how much I loved Barbies. And I just feel like I want to go and I want to play. I want to maybe order something to eat, carnivore, probably just some burger patties, and hunker down in my living room with my game, with not a worry or care in the world, and be so grateful for that, right? That I have that ability to do that. I feel so guilty. I feel like even as I'm saying it, I'll have to let you know tomorrow whether I do it or not. But that's what I'm feeling right now. Truly, that's what I'm feeling. But I mean, life comes in seasons, and I don't mean spring and winter, and I mean that too, but I mean, like, for us, we have seasons that are very hard, and we struggle, and we learn and we grow, and then we have seasons like this one that are just light and things are good, and I'm just soaking it all in and trying to be present in the moment and enjoy it for what it is. I was saying earlier that things are shifting in my life. I'm making new plans. I mean, on Sunday we'll have done 25 of our 100 conversations. That's a quarter of the way through. I mean, it's going so fast. I'm going to start that 30-day. I got to find a word for it for myself. It's not a challenge. I mean, it is a challenge, but I don't want to call it that. Anyway, the 30 days that I'm doing where I'm going to be really clean on carnivore. I'm going to allow, if you missed that, it was at the end of yesterday's video. I'm going to be consistent, and there's just a handful of things that I'm putting into this 30 days, but by the time we're done with those, by the time I get through those 30 days, this will be more than half over. These conversations will be more than half over. And what comes next? The camera apparently goes into the bushes next. And I know that I don't have to have that answer right now, but it is something that's starting to come into my conscious, like, wow, this is going really fast. And it's been such a good season for me. I mean, we're only on video 23, which is still very early on, but I've already learned so much about myself, about what I want and don't want, about editing, about putting up videos, seeing YouTube react the way it does. I've learned a lot just from 23 days. I'm excited to see what I've learned by the end of the 100 days. Most of the people seem to be here for carnivore. Those are the videos that do the best. But I'm not turning into a carnivore channel because of that. I could, and then, there I'd have my goal from my birthday about moving my money over to YouTube, but that's not the point. The point is to love your life. The point is to be the point is to be in a plane going overhead right now. Okay, now that the plane is left, the point is to just, be in your life, be present, be grateful, be happy, So we'll see what the 100 days brings. It's exciting though. I'm interested to see where this takes me. But anyway, things are changing. They always will, That's like the thing. Okay, so that's what I was alluding to at the beginning of this conversation. Me and Amy, right? So Amy and I met, I don't know, in 2013, I think it was. And I think I told you this story already where, it was my guides telling me to stay open to conversations that popped up out of nowhere at Disney because they were bringing my people in. And then I met Amy, and she started talking to me at the bus stop at the TTC. And, the rest is history, sort of. But, we went through this phase of being really good friends. We started our businesses together. I was live streaming. She was park shopping. And it was a great season. Sadly, it all had to end because, the pandemic was coming. And we were very blessed in that. Like, the guides told her when to wrap up shopping. That came in very clear. It was time to stop. And then, we had 2018 came, and they told us to have the summer of our lives. They're like, it'll never be this way again. Go have a good summer. Spend all the money. They gave me a bunch of credit cards. Like, all these weird credit cards started to come in. They're just like, take them, spend the money, go have fun. Do all the things your heart desires. And we did but we were too afraid to blow it out the way that I was seeing in meditation. But boy, they were right. There's never been a time since 2018, summer of 2018. There's not been anything like that, because 2019 we went through that crisis period together, and then 2020 came, and then shoosh, it's been trying to get back to the surface ever since, like collectively in the shift, which I talked about yesterday, and I will not talk about again today. So anyway, and then I moved in with her at the end of 2017. At the end of the 365, I moved in with Amy, and we lived together for 8 years. So we were together every single day. We laughed so much, and we cried, and we had deep conversations, and we fought. and we just became different people. We went to see Wicked for Good in the theater about a month ago now, and it was so funny because from the very first note of the song For Good, Amy just like leans over and wraps her arms around my arm and puts her head on my shoulder and reaches into her purse and pulls out the tissue, and we sat there clinging onto each other in the theater, crying during that whole song. We love each other so much, and I know that most people never get a friendship like that. So I am so grateful and so blessed for everything, the good, the bad, the upside down, everything that I've been through with Amy, for everything that Amy is to me. But obviously when I moved out, our friendship started to transition again. And for the first, 6 months or so, she was over here almost every day. And I think it was good for us, because I don't think we were ready to separate. It was hard. There were a lot of tears. It was so hard. I love her. I didn't want to leave, but I wanted to have this experience, and she supported me in that. She still supports me in that. But now it's so funny, because here we are 7 months later, and we're down to seeing each other once or twice a week. And that's just so weird. It's so weird, and it's so bittersweet. I mean, we talk all day on, we chat in Messenger all day long, seriously, until sometimes 2 a.m. But it's, it's obviously not the same. We're not together the way we were. And, that space has opened up. Whereas when we lived together, there was never any, I don't know if I want to say down space. There was never a time to just sit and have my own thoughts. I mean, that's an overstatement. It just we were always together. We were watching TV. We were laughing. We were talking about stuff. We were planning things, plotting and planning. And, there was always something every single day. And now days go by, and it's just me. And I love it. And I think she loves it. I think we are both really appreciating kind of getting back some of our autonomy, if that's the right word for it. The other night, she went with a friend to Animal Kingdom for the DVC Moonlight Magic, and she had the best night. She was so happy. And, we got together the next day. She told me all about it. And, it was great, because I didn't feel left out. I didn't feel fearful or jealous or, any of those things. I was just legitimately so happy for her. And I am a little sad, because I see us getting our own lives back. God brought us together for the pandemic, for the shift. We needed each other. We kept each other safe. We kept each other strong. We kept each other sane. But the shift is over. And as everything starts to move away from the shift, she and I are moving away too. That sounded dramatic and bad. I don't mean that. She will always be my very, very best friend. And we will always be so close. But I just mean in a day-to-day sense, she was over here Wednesday. Today's Friday. I don't plan to see her again until Tuesday. Like I said, we talk all day long. But, being together. We're plotting and planning our Disney returns. We're going to start doing a lunch day where we go out to the park for lunch and to do a few rides like in the olden days, you know, bring that back. And that's going to be so fun and so incredible. And then all of this just wraps me around to going like, oh my God, the shift really is over, ending. We are about to be free again, to be ourselves and to be a better version of ourselves. Amy and I have changed each other for good. We've changed each other so much. So much. We are completely different women today than we were, well, certainly when we met. And it's been hard, and it's been good, and it's been surprising, and it's been amazing. And we're walking into a new season. Friendships, you know, friendships that can change, those are the ones that last you a lifetime, because they shift and they change as life shifts and change. You know, a lot of people are just here for the season, but not Amy and I. Not Amy and I. We're here forever. And, you know, we both have talked a little bit about dating, and maybe not dating, but like allowing the universe, meeting someone, getting in romantic relationships. Can you imagine Amy and I both dating? Oh my goodness, that'll be a season. Don't think I'll be sharing that one on the here though. It'll be interesting though if that comes to pass. But if it comes to pass, it won't be for till next year. I got enough on my plate this year. However, I'm going into a 30-day I allow phase. So whatever God wants to bring me, I'm open to it. I allow. And with that, I'm going to end this video here. And I'm going to thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with me with today's rambles. Tomorrow is, of course, Saturday and Sunday. I try to keep it a little bit lighter, try to keep the conversations a little bit shorter. I can't help it. I keep them all shorter, but I'm so rambly. It's hard to keep them short. Boy, I don't know where the gardeners are here, but I hope that noise hasn't been terrible in the background because the mowers have been going on all day. I think they're next door. Anyway, be well and be blessed. Hug your friends. Tell people that you love them. Drop your gratitude moment down in the comments below. I forgot to say that yesterday. And I think I'm going to move it further into the conversation anyway, because the people that stick through the video are the people that are going to connect on the heart with that. So I'm going to start putting the gratitude moment in a little bit later, and not right at the front. Probably not right here at the end either. We'll figure it out. I think by the end of the 100 days, I'm going to have a really good formula for these conversations, if they even continue after the 100 days. Who can say? Have a beautiful Friday. If I don't see you again till Monday, then have a beautiful weekend. I already said be well and be blessed. What else can I say? Be safe. Be safe. Stay warm in this storm. Sending you my love.